Okay, one more clap. Here we are, back again with the Voodoo Monkeys podcast. And this episode, I think, is going to be about apocalypse and how it's connected to enlightenment. Because you're all about apocalypse theories.
Yes.
And maybe you should introduce yourself.
You should introduce me.
This is Skylar Langenberger, who is an apocalypse theorist.
Kind of, yeah. I'm really deep in that rabbit hole.
Self-studied for the most part.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was a coping mechanism that I started looking into it, but that's okay. Anyways,
Cope with what? Like, did you get really existential and then?
Oh, I am like incredibly existential. I have a lot of so to just start off like that, I guess. I have a lot of weird experiences in my life when it comes to people. Like, for example, when I was 6 years old, I was out in the field in front of my parents' house, like the green space, trying to catch a bird with a butterfly net. And obviously that wasn't extremely fruitful.
That'd be very hard.
It was very difficult. But while I was doing that, these two teenage girls came up to me and were like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm just trying to catch a bird." Like, "Oh, hey, well, wow, we just found this bird in the alleyway. Would you like it?" And they gave me a blue jay, a baby blue jay.
A baby blue jay.
A baby blue jay. Yeah, these two teen girls just randomly gave me baby blue jay. And then they said to me something along the lines of, "Life is fragile and it might not always be around long, but it always has its impact in life." Like something along those lines. Like it has its impact.
That's so deep.
And I was 6 years old, and it was just a very strange scenario for a 6-year-old. But the blue jay did not survive. It lived a couple days, but it did die. So that was my, life is fragile, right?
Definitely.
But,
lesson learned immediately. But
then those two girls, they walked away and never saw them again. It was extremely weird. But that was just the first time I'd received that message, because I also received it once in a Dairy Queen, where some chick came up to me and she was like, "I don't know why I feel compelled to tell you this, but you seem like such a nice girl, and I feel like you're gonna do something with your life. I don't know why." And she's like, I don't even know why. I just yeah. And then she just
that's actually
just
a huge random thing.
Very random. And I was
kindness.
that was actually on that band trip I was talking about earlier in BC. It was on that band trip in BC.
Huh.
So
wow.
And it happened once when I was in Spain. This woman came up and she blessed me in her broken English. But the last time it happened was the craziest one, and this was the one that kind of that I started. The last time it happened to me, and then I really looked into the rabbit hole, because all those are just I was still living a life as a regular human. Quote,
Regular human.
Whatever that means.
I think I know. I think there's a point where you kind of focus, you specialize in something, you kind of figure out what you want to do, and you want to become an expert in it. So
yeah.
You become that sort of human, I guess. But your own way, not always. I don't know.
Yeah, but no, this last time it happened, though, it was the weirdest one, and it almost makes me wonder if there's something wrong with me. I don't know. So I was working at Ardennes at the time.
Maybe that's just what's right with you. Is you're learning all this stuff. That's a pretty good thing. Obviously, you had a lot of motivation.
Oh yeah, no, I've learned crazy things. There's no way I can put most of it into words, but that's kind of the way it's been designed. It's been specifically made so that you can't put it into words. But I was working at the store, and I'm a stock manager, and I'm working a really early shift. It was a boxing week, so our store was open stupid early, 6 a.m. No one was in at 6 a.m., but our store was open at 6 a.m. And I was in the back, and I was putting stocks away, and I'm kneeling on the ground like you're not supposed to, because I don't know if you've ever worked in customer service or retail. If you're putting merchandise away, you can't kneel on the ground. But anyway, so I'm kneeling on the ground, and suddenly this woman comes up to me, and she's this tall, she's probably over 6 foot tall black woman with a red jumpsuit on, a full red jumpsuit, and this large black, a red, a full on, the really classy ones that are kind of 80s-ish.
Michael Jackson Thriller.
Kind of.
But that was a jacket and stuff.
But not really, but something that would be in, and she had this big, and she was just beautiful, the most beautiful woman that I've ever seen in my life to this day. She was glowing. She was just absolutely gorgeous. And she comes in, she starts talking to me, and she's talking to me about life and just like how like just like things that were going on in my life at that time because I was going through a lot. And we were talking for probably like 5 minutes. And this entire time I didn't stand up. And I felt really rude about that afterwards. I'm like, why didn't I stand up? There's a customer talking to me. I should not be kneeling on the ground.
Just like putting cans of whatever away.
I was putting socks on the shelf.
Socks on the shelf, right? Yeah, same socks
and anyways, and she...
Oh, work and talk, really.
But she was just like so kind and so nice and super motivational. And then she ended with that same. She's like, you might not be here for a long time, but in the end, it's going to be worth it. Things are going to be worth it. She's like, things are going to go down in the world, but everything's going to be all right in the end. And she just kind of gave me this like weird, like be at peace, everything's good message. And then she said her farewell. She blessed me, and then she walked away to leave. And then I stood up, and there was like no one in the store. And I had a headset of the girls. I messaged them on the headset, which is also weird because it was silent the whole time. Usually they're having a conversation. But I'm like, yo, did you girls see this, like, this woman, like, the red jumpsuit? They're like, no, we didn't see it. I'm like, are you serious? Like, I'm like, okay then. And I don't know, I'm using a phone interaction for a headset, but, whatever.
Like, no one had seen her other than you?
Yeah, it was just me and my 2 coworkers in the store, and they didn't see her. They were also like, we weren't really paying attention, though. And I was like, okay, well, I guess do what you're doing. Like, continue stalking stuff. It was just like, wow, that was a really weird experience. And I always remember what she looked like. She was just such a noticeable looking human. I say human, but I don't think she's a human. I call her an angel. I swear she was like an angel or something because it was just such a weird experience.
Almost like an angel, though.
It really did. And she just, the way she was just like, she stunned me. Like, she was just like, it was a really beautiful encounter. The aura was beautiful. Everything was lovely. It was just, yeah. And that was I don't even know when that was. I think I was 19 at the time, so 6 years ago.
Somehow you were just open to that. You were like receptive to that. So you could tell that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, easy. Here, I have this to impart.
And then it was right after that I fell into the rabbit hole and started looking into things about existence, which is a whole other path now.
I think I've always wondered about existence. Like, when I was young, I was like, what's an alien? Am I an alien? Like, how do I figure this out? I love Star Wars. So I wanted to know what was real and what wasn't. I was always trying to learn more about the world.
Yeah.
So eventually I got into, like, physics and quantum physics theories on the universe. And that's when I started to, like, get into, well, like, what is anything that could ever be? What is infinity? Man, I didn't even know that. Like, it's mind-boggling. Can't even think about it.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, well, we know a few things about it, right?
Like, can't be fathomed, and that's part of the game.
It can be, but anything can be fathomed within it.
Well, yeah.
So that's like it's.
I guess that wasn't the proper word
unchained.
choice.
Like, it's unfathomable how big it is, but anything that is fathomable is good to go. Like anything you can possibly believe. And this really got stretched when I started learning calculus, because all of a sudden there's all these like different imaginary numbers. There's ways of taking literal equations, transforming them in this like harmonic plane frequency shift thing. And it's a whole branch of math called Laplace, and it's like doing equations on equations. It's crazy, and I don't know how they ever came up with this stuff. And apparently they're just like obsessed about it all their lives. But I blew my mind.
Yeah.
For sure. I don't know why. Like, it doesn't make any sense to most people, but it's just you can use it on anything. But it might not make a whole lot of sense.
To explain the Matrix.
Well, like the matrix of energy. So it's like trying to
exactly.
find.
There's connotations on the word.
So believing like that there's a Big Bang, a point of creation of all energy and matter in the universe. The idea would be to find that point and then try to calculate, all the trajectories and thermodynamics of the entire massive existence that we can.
Why is there a start?
Possibly compute. It would be like the infinity computation. So, like, what would be the point of that, though? That seems like a huge pointless thing. It would be to try to predict the future. You would have to pour all of existence into it. So, like, that's why I think ancient humans were the wisest.
Oh, definitely. They knew things that I think that all of history is just bogus. But well, that's one of the things I always say. I'm like, the only thing that's real is right now, because as far as we know, history is a lie and this future doesn't exist yet. So
yeah, the only thing is now.
And that's true, because I study awareness and consciousness, right? So it's like, and that applies to the very moment, the moment of the living moment. Sorry.
Living moment.
The living moment. Like, that's the only thing that really matters.
Described as an evolving eternity.
Yeah. Well, part of the, and then like I think that part of the riddle is
flies over top of us.
It's about self-awareness, and if awareness is like the element, or consciousness is the element of creation in a sense, did it start or did it just become aware of itself?
I don't know. I think consciousness is an element of life.
Yeah.
So you have life evolving into more, complex, dynamic forms. Eventually, there's one that has consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
So
you think that's it?
The conscious life form, like this.
So what creates the consciousness?
What creates the consciousness? Biology. Really, I mean,
this is where I'm really woo-woo.
We're like brains. We're like brains and nervous.
So you think that the brains create the consciousness?
Well, yeah, that's where it's kind of like.
So brains create consciousness, and then so when you die, then your consciousness is dead. Is that your theory?
It's about like the connection to the mortal realm, basically.
Okay.
And that's within the brain and everything, because when we experience things in life, it changes that connection to the spiritual realm.
Yes.
There's like a gateway within our biological form that kind of opens into this other thing. So it is like that's where like our consciousness,
the role of chakras
resides. But that doesn't mean that it hasn't been somewhere else, and it's not going somewhere else, or it's not just the actual omnipresent energy of life itself, present in different forms in different humans.
Yes.
And that,
but there's only
we are all different, right? But we are all conscious beings.
Well, it's all just one. Like if you remember my analogy about the crystal, with all the different facets on the crystal
of the soul.
You'll know it's like you got a crystal, and that's like the crystal of existence, and all the different facets are like humans, and they're all different, but they're all part of a whole. But then the thing is that when you shine a light into the bottom of that crystal, and it shines out of all of those different facets, that can be like riddled to like the awareness and the consciousness that's spread into humans. It's all just one, but it's shared among everyone, because the thing is we can't be aware of everything all at once, because again that's what the law would be, but that would be incredibly overwhelming and not a very fun existence to just know everything. I don't know if you know what I'm trying to say, but
I don't know how you would ever know everything.
You wouldn't. I wouldn't want
to. Not in this form anyway.
No, definitely
but there
not.
might be this like form that's greater than a human form, that is like the form of all humans, all life of intelligence, of the intelligent energy.
And I would call that the crystal. And
so that's like the full.
Or
crystal.
the light. I guess the light in the crystal is what.
You can't be
all of
aware
it.
of all of that.
Exactly.
You can't know what it all means, I guess. You can only know how much your little piece of the crystal
It's to make it manageable. That's like existence is done that way, to make it experienceable. What kind of experience would it be if you're experiencing it? Like, it just wouldn't be a very good one. Like, that's just, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how to think about it, of like how people are connected to each other. Like, I do think that that's kind of a matrix.
Well, yeah, because I think something and I do something, and then that in turn affects your awareness. Mm-hmm. So in a sense, we're not separate. We're just two cells of the same organism.
Yeah, there's a connection, and it's supposed to be this kind of like, but I don't know what it's supposed to be, right? But it's like an intelligent connection where we want to grow and build something of learning, right?
Yeah, no, experience is
so,
the
like,
goal.
that's just a good, or even just good experience, right?
Yeah.
And health.
It's quite simple, actually, but humans just complicated the hell out of it.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, this is a weird thing. The way that you have different connections between different brains and stuff, and like it's almost like different thoughts can have different weight because of like the emotional connection, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then you hear something and it's like, oh, you know, you like realize something and you're like, I care about this. Or like, so that's empathy, right? And
Yeah.
you mentioned auras earlier. So
Like, yeah, like, well, there's, I mean, some people just call them vibes, too.
vibes,
They feel
auras,
these things.
and that's a way to know who you're supposed to be connected with, right?
Yeah.
And kind of find some kind of community.
It's not always a
And
good thing,
enjoy
though.
life.
But I mean, like, as we have, I do believe that there are arrangements that are made that are people that we're supposed to meet, but that doesn't always mean that it's a good encounter. I mean, good is, you know, a subjective word, so shouldn't say that word, but you know what I'm trying to say. Like, it could be a shitty person, but they're teaching you something. That's like the point. So there's still a good outcome, but it's like, and you were still made to meet each other, and you were still supposed to meet each other, even if it means that it's not for an enjoyable experience. I guess is a wording I could use, but
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah. Sometimes you go through something just to learn.
yeah, and we're supposed to, and that's part of the game.
I guess so.
And I think there's, yeah. Well, one of the things I say is that one of the reasons that humans exist is to transmute negative experience into positive outcomes. It's like, yeah, to see what we can make out of suffering.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm thinking about like I've called it like the history of belief before, or like the story of knowledge. Like in a lot of ways, I think that's the human history that's important, is about what we've actually learned and grown on, and like how we're using things that we have now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's really interesting. I would find that way more interesting than like history. So much that, but actually, history is super important too.
It has its place, but I do think there's a lot of corruption there. Because there can be. I mean, like, again, I'm really doing the rabbit hole, so you follow, then you get into the regular quote Illuminati conspiracy, the deep state, that conspiracy. Like, that's a very good few years at least. I've heard very large numbers on that one. But when you dig into that, you realize everything stems from that. So a lot of history comes from the same place, which doesn't always make it right. With the Victor writes history.
Yeah, like I think that there's definitely lies in history textbooks that people, like, I have no idea what they are, but I'm sure there's some in there. You know, I don't know. Could be some weird shit. But at the same time, I think that we found some pretty fucked up people in the past and killed them. And got rid of that shit, right? And learned, became better people. But still, in a lot of ways, we're kind of doing worse things to the planet now.
Yeah.
There's more people, and we're demanding things faster and more, all kinds of shit.
Yeah, well, humans are very much consumers.
More people want more things faster. It's like absolute madness.
Yeah, no. For sure.
But why don't they want original music? Just kidding. They do. Honestly, though, if it didn't have, like, art, if we didn't have art still, then I'd know that we didn't end up on the Victors team, because
Yeah.
the Victors always took the art. Art is the most important. I read this book where an alien comes to the planet and he has to learn how to be a human. And, like, poetry is one of the things that helps him a lot, and music.
What is that? Do you know what the book is called?
The Humans.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's the name of the book? Okay.
Straight up, it's called The Humans.
All right.
Basically, he has to kill a professor who has figured out a math equation that will advance human technology way too far in advance. And it'll ruin their path to the future, I guess. So he, like,
I think we
takes
have way
over
more. technology than we think we have.
There's a lot out there. It's kind of...
I think there's hidden shit.
I mean, computers have gotten really powerful, and that has given us a lot of computational abilities, like the fact that, like, the imaging of a black hole. How is that possible? It's a black hole. I don't even get how they did that.
How necessary is that, though? I don't know.
It's just for learning, to know that we can do it, and that if we have the technology. That, I'm not too bad. That's just like imaging something. You know what they've done before at the, the Large Hadron Collider particle accelerator? They make antimatter there. They've made antimatter. And they're like, we don't really want to test this stuff because we don't know what it's going to do.
Yeah.
It's like, why did you make it?
Yeah.
They think it would annihilate itself. If it comes in contact with regular matter, it would, just blow up.
Well, I mean, there are theories that the world's already been destroyed and that we're just living in alternate plot lines. Like, I'm sure you've heard of the Mandela effect, so that's where that comes from.
I've never had any, weird dreams of the world being destroyed, though. I've had a dream of it being in the apocalypse.
You don't have to have dreams of it. So it's one of the ways that, it's almost like a multiverse theory or experience plot lines. One of the things I say is the plot line of the Matrix. It's kind of what I call what we're living through. But it's you have a sun and it's shining down in the forest and it's trying to reach a little flower at the bottom, and these sunbeams are going to go down, and one's going to hit a tree. Well, most of them are blocked by the clouds. Despite that, one's going to hit a tree and then the bush, and most of the sunbeams don't make it to that flower, but the sun does make it there, but it's not a separate sunbeam from the rest of the sun, but that's kind of how plots are, all the plots are working at it, but we're just, consciousness only experiences the successful one. It said that there's no awareness, because it's all, like I said, I was studying awareness, and I study that there are humans that don't have awareness in them. It's something that's made very prominent throughout studies. They're called organic portals, but we can come back to that if you want. But it said that, only the successful plotline is experienced by the awareness. So that's kind of one of the ways that, I don't know if you understand the way that I'm trying to symbolize that. The way that you'd...
The way I look at it is that what you're supposed to be doing, and your answer.
It can't be done wrong.
Captain of my own fate, kind of thing.
I don't think it can really be done wrong. I think that if I don't think existence can be done wrong, because nothing experiences the plot lines that are just corrupt. I don't know how to explain. You think a computer program or something corrupts in its formats, nothing experiences that plot line. I'm having a really hard time trying to carry that analogy over. Like I said, it's really
it stops. Is basically the
it
point.
stops,
so
and
something
because
else continues.
Yeah, and because it stopped, it didn't have life. There's no life there, so nothing experiences that. So life just continues in the one that keeps going.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of one of the riddles about, well, if humans have destroyed themselves, we're not going to experience it anyway, because there is a plot line that needs to be followed. And one of the riddles is that we're always in good hands, because it's a spiral up. Humans are actively trying to force it down, but we are getting better. So the apocalypse is a beneficial event. I am crazy stoked about that. It's a good thing, because it's the unveiling.
Kind of. It allows your potential to go to really realize what the infinity is, and know that that's in your brain, that's in your capacity to think. There's going to be more inventiveness, I think. People are going to be way more creative. It's going to be cool.
Yeah, because our awareness is eternal to bodies that aren't. But that's part of the riddle, is that, like I said in the restaurant that day, existence is, or life is it's a spirit realm that's crafted around material separation and flesh forgetfulness. So it's illusoryly solid, but it's still just one substance taking different forms, and it's our consciousness that's projecting it. And your consciousness is also projecting it from a different angle, but it's still the same consciousness from a different body. So I'm talking to me, you're talking to you, for poor wording, but...
I'm thinking about, like, the way life unfolds of you're just doing day-to-day things, you scroll on the internet, you see an ad, you're going about more things, you end up, listening to a song or whatever, like, how, like, the butterfly effect of life, and what guides you through that? Is that some other force that is, like, causing these butterfly effects? And then it comes out in weird ways for other people in life, but never directly?
Yeah.
Like, indirect interventions? I don't know. I know that I make my own choices.
Yeah, no,
I
I
can
think
do
it's
what
like
I want to all the time. So it's
like
so
a choose your own adventure game, but a really, really advanced choose your own adventure game. Have you seen that movie, Mr. Nobody? Pretty sure that's the name of the movie.
I don't think so.
No, and I think
not.
it's Jared Leto. I honestly don't know. I'm really blanking on it. All I know is that the point, like the premise of the movie is that the main character makes a decision when he's a kid, and there's like 3 choices, and then the plot or the movie is just like how it went through the different choices, like how his life went based on the different choices. There was 3 different plots of the movie, but and I was like, it's like just a simplified way to think about it, I think. Because I think existence is just a really complex choose-your-own-adventure game, and we're doing it real time. And humans are completely responsible for whether or not we destroy ourselves or whether we have a golden age. Because,
sorry for cutting you off there, but
No,
I
you're
think
good,
we're
sorry.
pretty much like in a second renaissance. Like, we have a new way of connecting.
Oh, yeah.
It's so instant, seamless almost.
Yeah.
And you can just... We could be figuring out all kinds of new stuff, and we are. Some people are living it like it's 2033, and all this stuff.
I'm living like it's 2007 based on my attire, but that's okay.
Whatever.
It was a good time.
It's
Music was
almost
at
like-
its peak.
It's easier to live in that kind of thing. You pay a subscription fee, and you've got access to the whole library of songs. You can find all the songs from that era. There's all kinds of shops that create that stuff specifically,
I'm super grateful to be alive during this time.
It's pretty cool.
It's a good time to be alive.
You can pretty much do anything.
I can read scriptures without being murdered.
Yes.
I would have definitely been killed in history, for sure.
I think so. Fuck,
like, I was a witch, for sure.
History is ridiculous. People
They thought I was on
really
some weird
dumb.
shit.
Probably. She turned me into a newt. What? You're not a newt. Oh, we got better. Have you ever seen Monty Python?
You haven't?
Oh, it's worth watching.
Okay.
There's a scene about a witch. It's playing in my head.
That's alright.
Anyways. What's a more relevant topic? I guess, the story of knowledge. So we know all this stuff, and we've got all these technological things, but still, a lot of us are not really doing all we can do. Why is that?
Because
People have
humans
all
are
these-
asleep. Humans are spiritually ignorant. They are unaware that they are sovereign. We're sovereign in creating plot. Like, this is what we're doing. We are creating experience. We're completely sovereign to do what we want and to experience it and see what happens. And I mean
some
obviously
people-
there's consequence, but that's part of the game. So don't be dumb.
I don't know. I still forgive people for just doing what they want to do.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of like what the do what thou wilt is the whole law. It doesn't mean just do whatever the hell you want. It doesn't mean just run around willy-nilly, kill people if you feel like it, steal their shit. Like, that's not what that means.
That's against the 10 Commandments. Those are
There's
pretty good.
still a law of existence that explains how what we output, we get back. Like, that's kind of what that means. So if you're gonna put out shitty shit, you're gonna get it back. And it also goes large scale. So, humans are responsible for the entire world. So the more humans are just like, it doesn't concern me. It's like, that doesn't help anything. It's like, okay, well, it's like, no, we do need to kind of put our put ourselves together for these things. We're like I said, cells of an individual organism with a purpose. The purpose is to experience life. Like I said before, transmute negative experience into positive outcomes and play the game. We're set here to play the game and to.
Well, the more we work together, the more we accomplish. And
Exactly.
The bigger things we can do. So, I think that's part of the point, right? Finding the right vibes and the right people to help you grow, help you accomplish your dreams in a way.
Yeah.
You can still have dreams.
What are your dreams?
As an adult,
Do you still have dreams as an adult?
Yes, I do have dreams every once in a while, I want to do, there's still like a bucket list, It's like the bucket list and the bucket list almost.
Like what?
Like some extreme stuff. I want to go skydiving enough times that I can skydive on my own, and then maybe eventually get a wingsuit certified.
Have you ever gone before?
Never. I might piss my pants. Maybe I shouldn't do it, but you never know. I think it'd be
Optimism.
Really cool. Or I could just go hang gliding instead.
Something about if you go naked, it's free. I don't know.
Really?
I don't know. I heard that once. Depends on the place, I'm sure, but I don't think you'd want to do that naked.
I mean, it would make a lot of noise. No, I'm just kidding.
Make a lot of noise?
Oh yeah. I'd have a good old backup parachute.
That's good.
Writing a new comic book, Elastaballs.
Oh, I'm picturing that way too vividly. This almost like a Captain Underpants type character though in my head here, so it's a little strange.
Oh God. I can't think about this anymore. I'm imagining my balls getting stretched out and I'm like, I'm gonna be old.
Come down like Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins, bitch.
Oh goodness.
There's more stuff though, for sure. I mean, I want to enter a race with like a vehicle, like a rally race. Even though that's like so dangerous, I would do it. I would want to see what it's like.
You seem like an adrenaline junkie. Well, both of those are adrenaline things, so.
It'd be fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I want to do a long tour. I want to tour with a band. That would be cool. And like.
Do it. Hopefully.
Something cool, like that. That'd be sweet.
Be a blast. That'd be my dream.
Be really cool.
I think so.
And like a tour, like a nature tour, I was thinking about doing like a bicycle, like not a bicycle tour, like a motorcycle tour. With, just pack up a little tent and stuff and just kind of go down the coast and camp down the coast.
Oh yeah. That'd be fun. See lots of nice things out there.
Mm-hmm. It would kind of suck to do it alone, maybe. But I would still do it even if I was alone. Like, I would just ride, then I would do exercise, enjoy the beaches or go for a walk, whatever.
Yeah, no. Everywhere is like kind of different. I mean, I haven't traveled too many places, but I've been to pretty different places.
Different places?
Like
around here?
Well, I mean, like different countries.
Okay. Where have you been?
I've been to Costa Rica a few times, Nicaragua for a day, Portugal and Spain I also went to.
You had to spend a day in Nicaragua?
I did. It was because I was in Costa Rica for too long and my passport expired or whatever, my visitor's visa, so we had to go out of the country for a day so I could get my passport re-stamped. Just a little loophole, but it was cool. Yeah.
So were you just going on vacation?
My parents have a place in Costa Rica. They go there all the time. And then that time I was there for about 4 months because I was going to school there just for the hell of it.
Oh, sweet.
For experience. Like a real Costa Rican school.
What were you studying?
Nothing. I was just it was grade 10.
Oh.
I just went to school. It's grade 10 kids in Costa Rica.
Okay.
Got my school uniform, hung out every day, went there 7 to 5, long days.
They all speak English there?
They spoke Spanish.
You know Spanish?
I don't remember my Spanish.
You knew enough though.
I knew enough. Yeah, and I did have my one friend was really close to me. She spoke really good English, but no, even like my little like quote boyfriend there, he didn't even speak English.
Really?
No, people did not speak English. It was very,
That's super cute.
it was very like real. It was not it was not a tourist experience at all, which I'm not. My family, I've never been like that. I don't really like touristy things. I'd rather get right in there with the village and meet the people and eat the food they eat and see their houses and yeah, no, I love it. I don't know. I'd rather do that than go to a resort with a private beach or whatever. That's no fun to me, but oh well.
In Spain?
No, I did this in Costa Rica, but.
Well, what did you do in Spain?
I went to Spain on a school trip. Spain and Portugal together. We went to like Barcelona. I went to the Sagrada Familia. I can't remember if that's backwards or the big church, the really big cathedral.
Okay.
Saw a lot of big cathedrals. I love buildings. I love old buildings and like castles. Mm-hmm. I briefly wanted to become a nun because we went to like a convent and it was pretty cool.
Really?
Yeah. And I was genuinely considering dropping everything and moving there and becoming a nun.
Brave choice. I mean, honestly, probably just to be there. It'd be pretty awesome.
It was awesome and
I
the
think
architecture is amazing and
a lot of people can appreciate it.
oh yeah, no. I saw a lot of cool things. I'm grateful.
What else did you say? Italy?
Portugal.
Portugal, right.
Yeah, which is again just lots of really cool old churches and buildings. I went to like a church that was from like 300 AD, like just this really old room, but it's just
300 AD.
Yeah, so like really old, and it was just super. It's just a room. Like it was very basic, but it's super intricate. Just like the art and the carvings in it was just amazing.
People would have put so much time. That's a life's work.
Yeah,
you know?
That was amazing. It's very cool to see. Oh, and one of my favorite things about, I can't remember if it was Spain or Portugal, but we went to this like really old university from like I want to say it was around the 1500s, and it was just the coolest thing because the tables were all giant logs, like cut in half, so just like a tree cut in half, giant log, and then so were the chairs, just like smaller logs cut in half.
Okay,
so there was like these benches, like kind of like funky picnic benches, but really large. But the best part about it is that they were just covered in graffiti and like dated graffiti and like names, and it was just like, I'm pretty sure there was a couple dicks carvings in there too, because it's just like, it was just so cool to be like, wow, a long ass time ago students were the same.
That's very interesting.
Their names carved in it was so cool. It was just like one of my favorite things to see there.
In the 1500s.
It was really, yeah, it was somewhere around there. It was just like this, to like average it, because it was a really cool build. I wish I could remember where it was specifically, but my memory is so random and selective. Mm-hmm. I remember things very clearly, but not details very clearly. Like I can picture it and I can visualize what I saw, but I can't remember like exactly where it was and what city and what the day was and stuff. Like I don't know that, but
that's still really cool.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun.
People have been people for a long time.
They really have, and I think that's again one of the things, like, where did awareness come from? Did it just wake up one day and was like, I'm aware, or has awareness itself always existed?
So it's like, what is a people versus what is a human person? So like the human being form has existed for like hundreds of thousands of years, mm-hmm. right? But you know, there's different human peoples on the earth now, even from then to now, like tribal societies evolving, civilizations. That's a people's, right? Like what you were saying, awareness.
Yeah.
So that's almost like a group awareness. So that's such like a social thing. And being in Canada, like, what is the people of Canada? It's not a single thing. It doesn't feel like a united thing. Mm-hmm. But that's political ranting.
I don't really know much. I don't do politics. I do esoterics.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about politics. I want to know what runs the politics. Behind the scenes. Why are things the way they are?
I wonder what, like, the path of intelligence is in, you know, places like the House of Commons and stuff. Like, how does the Prime Minister decide what's the intelligent thing for him to do? Or how does, you know, any of them think what's the smart thing to do? And definitely not always the truth, right?
No.
Like what the hell? Like it's such a twisted idea itself. Like I don't know. Sometimes I think it'd be better to just like start a whole new thing in the modern age, right?
Yeah.
Something completely different, but like the same, you know, something that feels good, feels right, you know, and it doesn't fuck with people.
It's easier said than done.
That doesn't make, I don't know.
You can't please everyone.
Takes the weight out. I don't get it.
Sorry, I keep clearing my throat. I'm struggling here. No, I mean, perfect world looks different for everyone. To an extent, but you know.
There is no perfect world.
Exactly. Because
The world is crazy, so
and
I think our lives should be able to reflect that. I want to live a crazy life.
order of
I'm
chaos.
a crazy person. I'm just like, I want to do crazy shit.
Exactly. I think I'm a main character and want to take advantage of this game, bro. Let's do something wild.
There's still some good stuff we can do. I mean, I'm so glad that like we live in Canada because you like break your arm or something, and then you just get a cast put on it. And it's like,
Yeah, you
there
don't have
go.
to pay a shit ton of
Wait
money.
a few weeks and you'll be good. Everybody gets a cast. Everybody gets one.
Everybody. Your arm's not broken, you get one too.
We're giving out free casts. Who wants one? And then all of a sudden somebody comes along selling itchy sticks to itch your arm in your cast.
Have you had a cast before?
No.
I haven't, so I can't relate.
I know it's really itchy though.
Yeah, my best friend
It's like
had a
all
big
the marketing
cast.
ploy.
Like a big cast on her leg. Got me into painting, that's how I became an artist in the first place.
Really?
Because we painted her cast. It's fun.
What did you paint on it?
I painted like a Zelda character on it. It was like my mascot when I was kind of a kid.
Which one Zelda character?
Medley from Wind Waker. Like the bird girl.
Oh, okay.
My favorite.
Nice.
My screen name was Medley96.
Okay.
Like for a lot of things, that's my screen name. So it's just like
I forget what was the island called?
when Dragon Roost Island.
Dragon Roost Island.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, I gotta play the Wind Waker.
I love Wind Waker. I played it so many times just because my fucking memory card kept corrupting at the goddamn Tingle map deciphering place, the worst part of the whole game. I don't know if you've played it, but like it's so tedious, and my memory card corrupted 4 times. I had to restart during that part, and I'm surprised I even beat the game and didn't just rage quit on life entirely. But it is still my favorite Zelda game, and I'm so stoked to be getting a Zelda tattoo at the end of the month.
Nice.
I love Zelda.
Zelda's really good.
I used to be the founder of what used to be the biggest Zelda fan club on DeviantArt. But
Wow.
yeah, we used to have quite a few members, but I handed it off to someone. I stopped using the website during the Brony era.
I don't know the Brony era.
My Little Pony era.
Oh. Okay.
Sorry, conversation trailing.
I like to hide under a rock, so I don't know a whole lot of like trendy things that have happened.
This was a long time ago.
That's probably another reason why. I remember seeing some stuff about My Little Pony though, when I was like 18 or 20.
It was
I
like,
didn't know why.
long story short, I didn't even watch the series, but there was these little animated pony icons. Long story short, I was the one that provided the base for it from my friend. My friend created it, and then I made it icon-sized, and then it became extremely popular. Like, a lot of people had this. It was like a little animated pony gif, and trotting and flying, and then I started getting harassed by someone who claimed to have made the original animation, which I thought my friend did. I didn't know that she kind of stole it from someone, but it came to me because I was the one that had provided this base for everyone to use. But I wasn't asking for money or anything, but this guy was just like harassing me. He wanted credit, and I was like, fine, I can credit you, that's fine. Like, okay. But then it didn't end there, and then he told me to take it down in the end. I was just like, hey, just like leave me alone. So yeah, it was too bad. And it's funny because it was re-uploaded. Someone has since uploaded the exact base that I created. And it's on DeviantArt again, uploaded by a different person. But it made me extremely popular on the site for a bit because I was getting crazy amount of people asking me to make them for them, like asking me to make a point. And that was fun. I liked it, but I didn't.
Pretty cool though.
They were just like little 50 by 50 icon GIFs I made on Paint and then animated. So they just looked like they were trotting. Yeah, I don't know.
Nice.
Yeah,
That takes a little bit of work.
it was fun.
I don't have a DeviantArt. Maybe I should get on there. There's some cool art. I love digital art, honestly.
Yeah. Sometimes I wish I never stopped
I
it.
haven't got around to it.
I have like a
There's
fancy
like
tablet for
so
that.
many things I want to do in life.
Do it. Do them.
Too many things.
Too many things. No, I feel that.
But I feel like if I do the more important things, then I can free up more time to do these other things.
What are your top more important things?
Just like taking care of my body and my mind. You know, sometimes I let
Start at
that
the base of things.
I let that drop, and it's like, should never really let that drop. I got a sensitive body in a way. I mean, I've got a disease,
Yeah.
right? So that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Like an ulcerative colitis. And it's like totally random. They're like, we don't know how this formed. So like, I don't know how it's going to affect things. But yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, the role that it plays for your character.
Don't know yet. I mean, it kept me out of the Air Force.
I think that that's a beneficial thing.
I think it might be too. I think it made me have a more flexible way of thinking.
Remember I said things are not going to play out wrong, and like you just weren't supposed to go.
So
Things
here I
happen
am,
the way they're
rock you
supposed
like
to happen.
a hurricane.
There you go.
And yeah, now I'm just way more sensitive to diet, so I have to know what good food is because I can feel it.
Oh
So
yeah.
Food is medicine in a very real way for me.
Fuel, important fuel.
Yep, it's fuel. Some good stuff though. A lot of chicken and vegetables. Apparently you're not supposed to mix proteins and carbohydrates because it creates a mixture that breaks down your digestive enzymes.
Really? I didn't know
Who
that.
would have known? And then it like creates inflammation.
I didn't know that. I don't really know much about diets. My family's like all keto, and I did keto for a while. But I don't know anything else about eating properly because I eat really poorly. Usually I eat like a lot of cookies.
A lot of cookies.
I love cookies. There's a parody of me on YouTube singing about going into my friend's house and stealing his cookies.
Really?
It's awful. It's absolutely awful, but it's a fun song.
I want to hear it. Where can I find it?
On YouTube, and I think it's like that Black Eyed Peas song. I think it was I'm addicted and I just can't get enough. Just can't get enough. Like, that's a Black Eyed Peas song, right?
I don't know.
I don't know, it was a parody of that song because it was about how I'm addicted to cookies and I just can't get enough. But,
I don't know.
no, I remember you were talking about keto on one of your podcasts, so a while back.
I've heard about it. Yeah, it's interesting.
It helped
actually
me.
creates a whole nother energy molecule
Yeah,
for your cells.
yeah. No, it worked really well for me because I had like a blood sugar problem where if I didn't eat for like 2 hours, I would start to feel like I was gonna die. Like I would get really passed out-ish. Like I'm not diabetic or anything, but borderline, I guess. I don't know, but and when I started doing keto, after like the first week, because you have to go through the withdrawals, like your body is addicted to carbs, so you go through the quote keto flu because it's a carb withdrawal. Like it's an actual, like if you're withdrawing from drugs, but after that first week, I had days where I forgot to eat because I felt great because I was eating properly and like my blood sugars were super regulated and I was just like not.
I mean,
I could go way too long without eating and being like, shit, I haven't eaten yet today. I should probably do that.
it kind of makes sense, like biologically. How many, like I was saying, there's hundreds of thousands of years of human beings being Homo sapiens, right? That's a lot of generations of people that have survived a certain way in like the wild almost.
Mm-hmm.
So our bodies are very adapted to that way of life still.
Yeah.
So that's what's so weird about
Eat less food. Yeah.
some of the food that exists now.
Yeah.
So, like fabricated,
And yes.
manufactured food. It's like, what
Let's
is this?
try and keep
Our
up
bodies
with
are saying,
demand
questioning things. They're like, what is happening? They're getting inflamed.
Well, I think the whole
Inflammation
matrix is
is
corrupt, so I think that's part of that. So.
It's not the whole matrix. I mean, there's places people get away from it, I think. Kind of just get off the grid, and it's just old school living.
I gotta say, matrix, when I say the term matrix, I'm not referring to a literal physical place or anything like that. I'm referring to like the set of ideals that our consciousness views existence through. like the way that not even a set of ideals, but like the
You mean,
lenses, like the way that existence is perceived.
Okay. Do
'Cause
you think each person has their own matrix?
Yeah, kind of, in a way.
Okay. I think that's just like a person's brain, you know?
It's like it's not
The
good.
way
It's
they
because
see
the word is so hard to explain. I can't explain how because I believe that existence is projected through our consciousness. I'm experiencing it, and that's what's making existence exist. As for you as well, as for all of us, we're projecting it from our experience, like from our awareness, and that's why existence exists. If there was nothing aware of it, then would there be anything? Kind of thing, like I said before, right? So that's along that line. And so the way then that the consciousness is perceiving, or not perceiving, but projecting the awareness through a lens that everything we experience we're being told to. I mean, even science. Like, science is just something that humans have created to explain the world. And it's not that it's wrong. I'm not saying that obviously it's not that it's wrong at all. It's just, but it's not like real, for the lack of a better word. Like, it's not part of nature. Like, there is math in nature for sure, but human science and human math is still limited. Like, it's not foolproof. It's not. It can't explain literally everything, but there is more that we will never know. Like you were saying before, right? And I definitely feel like I went on a tangent there and I got a little off.
No, that makes sense. It's true. All of that has just been created within a human mind. It's not really something that is unlimited. It's something that has rules.
Yeah.
Anything that has rules has limitations. But there's no like rules on what you can think.
Yeah.
So that's how we're able to think of that stuff in the first place.
But then the thing is that some people then think that it's impossible for there to be anything else. Like, I mean, we know that there's numbers between 1, 2, and 3, right? But they're endless. But that doesn't mean that I mean, like, we can't put them into formation, but that doesn't mean that they don't exist. Like,
And then there's randomly these like perfect numbers like pi and Euler's number that when we use them in math, it just makes things work. It's like really interesting. It's about the math of nature.
I think everything is based, on fractals. And, well, I think that, like I said before, I think this is a holographic matrix being projected by consciousness.
Once you see the big picture, then there's like the smaller picture inside of that. It's like a refinement of the intelligence, and you keep going down.
As above, so below. Everything is interconnected.
Yeah, it keeps getting more. A smaller piece of it, but a way more intelligent piece. But it's like always increasing. There's no going back. So that's like, to me, a purpose of life is to continue getting into that big picture. And some people, that means starting a family. That's the bigger picture. It's like, what does my life look like? And it's like, how do I make this bigger? Maybe that's how. Like I said, having a family. It doesn't have to be creating some genius paper on math.
But for someone, it could be.
Someone it is,
yeah.
Right?
No, and that's
just
it'd be really, really
person,
boring
right?
if we were all doing the same thing. What kind of game would that be?
This is how we all contribute to the matrix in a different way.
Exactly. And it's, again, also part of the riddle is we want to integrate the egos, right? The ego being the buffer that makes us the character that we're playing. It's not that we want to get rid of it, but we want to, integrate it. We don't want to get rid of the character we're playing, but not forget that we're all just awareness, part of the whole.
Like, use your ego, you mean?
It has its role.
Like, identify it.
Yeah, the ego makes us have an identity.
Since this is what my ego is, then this must be true. Like that?
I'm not sure I understood.
How do you even identify what your ego is?
Well, the ego is said to be like the buffer that causes a human to associate with the flesh vessel that they're wearing. So in other words, it means that you're really attached to the character that you're playing. I am Skylar. I am from Saskatchewan, and I played sax. I don't know. I'm listing random things about my character, but that's not who I am. Who I am is the awareness that is speaking at this very moment, or like not the awareness that's speaking at this very moment, but like the presence that's here right now. Like, I'm not the character. I am the presence. I am not the crystal. I'm not the facet on the crystal. I'm the light that's shining through it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's and same with you. You are that light. But the thing is that then remember we're the same light. So.
Still though, I'm me and you're you.
Yeah, and then that's where the character. But it's good. It's a good thing to have the separation between who we are, but to not to overdo that separation. Not to be just like you're you and I'm me. So fuck you. Like no, at the same level. Like we are still on the same a subconscious level.
It's like working together on something.
Yeah, essentially. But
like gears, those little moving parts.
We want to be our individuals, but we also don't want to forget that we are still part of a whole. So that we are still responsible for each other in a way too. Responsible, like we can't just. That's selfishness doesn't help anyone but the individual, and in the end, that doesn't really help them either.
No, not really. Probably not. Anyway.
It depends on the scenario, of course, but.
I mean, even when you need to like really heal. You still got to go somewhere where there's some other people and admit that you did wrong to actually get better at something. Mm-hmm. When is there ever a good time for being selfish? I mean, when it's a free-for-all, I guess. When you're in like a giant fight. Like, fuck, I just need to protect myself. Like, where in life are you finding that? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't, I'm very much a like, what I put out, I'm going to get back in another form because, like I've said before, I do believe that the awareness that's in you is just another form of myself. So if I treat you shitty, you are experiencing the shittiness, which is now another form of myself experiencing the shittiness. But because I'm not the one experiencing it at that very moment, I will have to face the consequences, and so it will come back around to another way, which is, you know, what karma is, right, in a way. So it's just about...
So it's like, don't deal out what you can't take back, right?
And then, and vice versa. It's like, treat others as you wish to be treated. And then that goes large scale. When I say before, the way that the energy that humans emit between each other determines the plot line that plays out. Like the base of that. If humans are peaceful and loving to each other, we get a peaceful, loving plot line. If we're going to be hateful and abrasive, I can't think of a better word, not in harmony, disharmonious, you know what I'm trying to say, then that's just not going to improve anything.
I don't know, it's so weird. Like, I think we should be able to stand against each other, but not in a way that damages each other, I think. But it's like hard. Like, I don't know. It's hard to do that sometimes.
It's just about
run into these walls where you're like trying to just make a point, and then you gotta just figure something out. It's like, fuck, what do I do? I don't know. But a lot of that comes into just being prepared. So like willingness and preparedness. What are you willing to do in life? And what are you prepared for? And I think I need to focus on that stuff a lot more than I have been. And doing all this musical stuff, which I love, but still sometimes I feel like I'm wasting time sometimes.
Why do you feel like that?
Because I think my priority should be my health. Sometimes I'm not really being healthy because of my music.
Well, how is music hurting your health?
Just because of all the time I would put into it, and I just get really distracted by music. And I wouldn't exercise or eat right. And that affects me a lot more than I think some people it does.
Well, there's definitely happy mediums and everything.
Definitely. I mean, if certain things were easier for me, then I think that it would be more successful.
I think that's pretty general.
I know it can work with what I have too. Like I just have to just be that much more disciplined, I guess.
So what's the goal then there?
The goal is to feel healthier.
To feel healthier. To be healthier.
Yeah, to not have so many symptoms of sloth or like fogginess.
But at the same time, don't let that distract you from actually living the experience of life.
Oh, I enjoy it.
If you're too focused on making sure your vessel's well.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, I enjoy doing an exercise. I enjoy working out. I actually do. I find it feels good. I like the endorphin release and stuff, and the dopamine, and like there's all kinds of good stuff that you feel when you're doing workouts and stuff, and after, before and after, all of it's good. And then there was the, like changing the diet. I feel good when I eat good food, and I don't know, my taste buds are different now, so I don't feel like all this gross shit. Like, there's one thing, it's like the morning mineral cocktail or something, and it's like just salt water and lemon juice. It doesn't taste good, and it's like warm. But you just pound that back and you're good. Like, it's lemon juice for your brain, some minerals for your, circulation, I think. I forget why. I gotta read it again.
Energize your vessel a bit.
Right, it's like an electrolyte. So that's why it's for the morning, right? But that doesn't taste good. But like, whatever. Do it because it's good for you, and you're just done with really fast.
Yeah.
It was kind of this weird thing of like, when I was a kid, I was so excited to be an adult, right? I was ready to do all the things I wanted to do all the time. But then I was like, shit, it's kind of just hard to take care of myself in a way.
Yeah.
It's like, I've been living really unstable.
Yeah. No, my body's in rough shape, and I try to my best to ignore it.
I'm getting better now. There was a few years I just moved like every year for like 6 years in a row, or well, basically like a long time. 4 years in a row? I don't know. Multiple times. Too many times. And I just never built anything up, and I just lost stuff from place to place. So it was dumb.
Yeah.
But I did form my character more.
Yeah. No, that's part of it. Like, that's what you were supposed to do. I mean, it sounds like such a cop-out to say, but
I don't know.
It would have taught you things that you wouldn't have learned otherwise.
Yeah, I'm me. So like I'm taking this. I'm 100%. This is what I was supposed to have happen.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna just like try to throw out what happened.
No, I love to think about like you were talking before, the butterfly effect, or like the domino effect of how things happen in life, but how one thing can lead to another. Did you know that Colton and I went to the same school twice?
No idea.
Like Jesse Duncan and St. Patrick's, which was my grade 1 and my grade 2 schools. And he went to the same schools.
Wow.
I find that really wild. I find that one to be one of those things that's just like, why? But just a fun fact, I don't know.
I mean, yeah, sometimes the universe is, or whatever, this spiritual force of life is like connecting things. It says like, hey, look, there's something here.
Yeah.
And you're like, I know now for sure.
Oh no, I'm super into those things. Like, as I said, I read vibes and auras, and I'm like, I can tell when I meet someone, I can tell if they're relevant or not. I'm like, I'm gonna meet this person, like, yeah, oh, hey, you're gonna be my new best friend.
That's pretty cool.
No, and I felt that with
there's the matrix working.
It's yeah.
Working for the humans, and some people just ignore that. They're like, no, if I if I catch vibes, if I go outside of this, afraid of changing the status quo. You shouldn't be afraid of it. Sometimes
the ego
you
causes
never
that
know.
fear.
Opportunity could come from anywhere.
Yeah.
I used to write stories about that. I was like, I wanted Yoda to show up in my backyard and be like, Taylor, we've chosen you. You're actually a Jedi. And I was like, okay, cool.
Sick, bro.
I knew it. But I didn't want to run away or anything. I just thought I was a Jedi.
Imagination is lovely.
I had a lot of it.
I think
I had
that's
a
a good
lot
thing.
of Star Wars Lego too, so.
I've never seen Star Wars, so.
I've seen it so many times. So many times. It's just another galaxy. It's just that trip outside of life.
That's a good thing. I'd like an escape.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's beneficial for sure. I used to dream in Minecraft.
You have Minecraft.
I used to have
dreams?
Minecraft dreams.
Huh.
And they were pretty legit. I was Minecraft for I played it for a very long time, Alpha 1.2. And yeah, so
Cool.
when I was younger, I used to have dreams in caves. It was really beautiful. I don't know why I'm bringing that up, but
I used to have dreams where I would fly.
oh yes,
I'd kind of find a hill and then just like.
Did you feel like the inertia?
Levitate.
You could feel it. Was it like, how would you fly? Like, did you remember how it would feel to start flying?
I would like slowly fall forwards, like lean forwards, and then at some point I would like my spirit would take my weight. That's what it felt like.
It's a cool description.
And then if I kept the balance, I could fly. But there was a couple times where I was just like,
oh, you weren't great at
I
it?
stumbled.
You were a bad driver in your dreams, so no.
A little bit, yeah. I was like, you're gonna fuck this up. Apparently, I thought that right from the start.
Oh goodness.
But then I figured it out, and I was really good at it.
There you go. Become a pro. Practice makes perfect,
The
right?
steep curves for me. I get there eventually.
Yeah, I used to do that too. I used to fly around in front of the house that I live in now, because I live in the house that I live in is that in the alley across from my parents' house.
Mm-hmm.
They own it. It's like they own this, and then the alley, and then this house. Yeah.
Cool.
I used to,
It's like when you get a hotel room and then they're like connected with the little door.
but they're not connected. There's an alley in
There's an
there.
alley in the middle though.
Thank
You get run
goodness.
over if you try to run between.
I manifested that house for myself when I was like 12 though, because I was like, man, I love this house and I'm gonna live here someday. And I've been living there now for a couple months, just like
Right on.
living it. It's lovely.
Cool.
Yeah.
You made that happen.
I did.
And that's really crazy that you dreamed of the house.
Yeah.
So that's almost like,
I used to spend a lot of time around it in
what
my
do they
dreams.
call it? I don't know. Astral projection, that's what it's called.
It was very realistic. Like I almost to this, like, because I was younger and I wouldn't have known what that was at that time.
Mm-hmm.
But I do feel like those were very different kind of dreams to me. Like they were very realistic and I remember them very clearly, and almost think it was more of an out of body experience as opposed to just like a make believe dream. Like it's something that I'm just creating in my thoughts. I don't know if you know what I mean, but
I do. I've had different types of dreams as well.
yeah.
Like sometimes there's like one dream that stands out from every other dream you've ever had.
Yeah.
And it's like this dream was like real, like it really mattered. I had one, I was like just floating in space and the Earth talked to me. It's like the planet knew my name. I was like, what the fuck?
What did it say?
It had all these satellites around it, kind of. It was like the future, and they were spinning around the planet, and it was kind of like super speed, and they would like, it was in a matrix. They were spaced out evenly in like a matrix, and then I seen them like glowing, and then everything was like reached this huge harmonic energy. It swelled, and then it kind of like, there's this blast of light, and then inside of the planet, I could see inside of the planet somehow, and there was like the same color of the light. It was like this really light blue. There was like a tesseract, basically. There's like a sphere. And inside of the sphere was like a tesseract. There's
I
like
like that word
this
better.
shadow of like another dimension of the entire planet. And it was an intelligent energy, and it was talking to me. I was like, holy wow, this is a super important thing. You know?
Very interesting. Sounds intriguing.
It just said my name, and that was pretty much it. I think like what I took from it is that I was supposed to design some kind of engineering thing and be really smart.
And are you?
No.
Aw, no, I wouldn't say
I'm
that.
close though. I could maybe one day, honestly. If I really try, really apply myself, I think I definitely can.
So you think you're an engineer?
I think I am not an engineer.
Or
I think I
supposed to
could
be?
be an engineer.
Are supposed to be. What do you think you're supposed to be doing?
I don't know.
What do you want
Ask my mom.
to be?
Just kidding.
What do you want to be doing?
I don't think about that. Like I think, like this is what I want to be doing right now. This is what I wanted to do
I feel
today.
that. I'm not
I was
I'm
like-
asking you, but honestly, I am not a future planner. I'm like, what am I doing for the next few days? Anything after that? I don't know. Who knows? Anything could happen. Like,
I want to improve my situation.
future's wide
you
open.
know?
Nothing's written in stone.
I want to make my life more efficient and improve my situation of, well, basically efficiency. So like my car, I want a car that's reliable. It's not gonna have parts that are breaking on it. It's gonna be more efficient. I want to have a house that I can do more of my musical stuff in. That would be efficient. I don't have to move stuff back and forth all the time.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, like just maybe changing, either living alone or living with somebody that I'm sharing groceries with. So then that would be more efficient too. Basically, just stuff like that, just making things a little bit easier for myself, I think. Small little goals.
No, that's
Things that
good
can
things to aim towards for sure.
I think so. What about you? What kind of goals do you have?
Oh goodness, I was really afraid that question was gonna come back to me. My goal is to make it through the day. No.
That's fine. That's a perfectly acceptable goal.
I'm woo-woo as hell, and I'm gonna be in a band.
Okay.
That's the goal.
Right on, sounds rock and roll.
Yeah, no, that's the goal. I don't know anything else about it. That's just I'm being told, go do it. You're gonna be in a band. There's gonna be you. There's gonna be 4 guys behind you, or with you, not behind. But it's just like, I don't know.
They will be holding instruments.
They will likely be holding instruments.
There will be no couches.
Fuck, my mind is on a totally different way there. Okay.
Because they all deserve their
That was
own
the
place
goal.
to
I'm
go.
just terrible. I fucked that up real hard.
Don't worry about it. So, like, do you ever do, like, a manifestation thing, like, modernly? Like, that was the thing that happened when you were pretty young. You manifested. And now, actually, I guess now it came full circle, so yes.
Yeah, I'm in my house there.
Now you're there.
I've had, this last 8 months of my life has been a very big change compared to where I was before. And I definitely had like there was definitely a shift, plotline shift. Entered almost a new dimension in a way. But a lot of things, it's just very interesting. I'm very excited to know what the future has. Because I think my life's getting started soon.
Cool.
I had to experience some shit first. For experience.
Every end is a new beginning. So the shit ended. You've got all of the learning from that now. All the,
time to apply it.
Now it's the beginning of, the applying.
Application process. No, I'm stoked. Stoked as hell. Life's good.
Life is good. Even though I'm pretty busy.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
Yeah.
Not always busy though. Oh, what do you do? Like any exercise or anything like that?
I just do like random workouts before bed and when I'm bored and
You do?
like an idle video game character.
Doing push-ups one day.
Yeah, I'll do like push-ups and squats and like jumping jacks and jogging on the spot or like burpees if I'm really feeling it.
Mm-hmm.
Planking sometimes. I just for boredom. Like
It gives you a little bit more energy, I think.
And I loved strollerblading.
Right.
I went out again yesterday
Rollerblading.
for an hour and a half.
I've seen that on your Snapchat.
I love it. No,
That's so good.
Dean loves it. He asks me to go out, so.
Yes, for the time?
Oh yeah, he's the reason it's called that, so we just stuck it. It's a good name for it. But no, I got a good sunburn the other day though. But I like, it's fun, it's relaxing, it's exercise, get some air, listen to some music. I sing while I'm doing it too. Like I'll rollerblade and be singing at the top of my lungs because I feel like it really helps with, like training with airflow. Like I'm really, really focused on controlling my air, controlling my sound, make sure I'm not oversinging because I'm literally rollerblading like full speed. It's not easy to sing and rollerblade full speed and pushing a stroller.
That's some training right there.
But I do think it helps me. Like I think it helps me with my airflow, my air control. So
No doubt.
And again, it's fun. And I probably look like a doofus, but that's okay.
Who cares? You're training. Just wait till they see you as a champion.
Oh, if only.
Doesn't matter.
That's the goal.
Honestly, it doesn't matter what anybody thinks.
I'm gonna be in a successful band. I'm gonna be the vocalist of a successful band.
At that point,
Manifesting it right now.
Oh my god, wow.
Manifesting it. This video is gonna be a thing someday. Oh, I'm cringing about the thought of that. I'm cringing about the thought of that.
You never know what can
I'm
happen.
cringing about the thought of me actually becoming a famous musician and then people on the internet seeing this video like years down the line.
I think it'd be hilarious. You're like, who's that other random dude? What's she doing with Sasquatch's cousin?
Nah, be my guitarist.
I do know some guitar.
Just a little bit. Just a tad. You're talented, you know that. Just say it. You're a talented guitar player.
Okay.
Say it.
I play guitar.
Say it.
I play guitar.
Say
I played guitar
I am
for
not.
a
I am
long
not.
time.
But say I'm a talented guitar player. You are.
Why? What does this have to do with anything?
Because it's part of the establishing.
Well, I am a talented guitar player.
Thank you. Have you noticed that when I say something, I don't say I in front of it sometimes? Like, hope you have a good day.
I don't know. I never noticed.
I never say I hope because I am not hoping from myself. I am causing hope from both parties. When
Okay.
I leave it open like that, I say, the goal is to contribute your manifestation power as well to it. So by saying you are a good guitar player, you're just increasing that.
Good
If I
guitar
say,
player.
I'm going to say you're a guitar player, you're going to say it, then you're just going to get better.
Good guitar player.
You are a good guitar player. You're very talented. You have an amazing stage presence. And I think you're going to go somewhere if you so wish. I think that you could be a very successful guitar player if you so wish. But,
I'm blushing.
of course, we're all responsible for our own plot lines to a degree. So you decide.
I'm gonna keep playing guitar.
Keep doing it.
That much has always been certain.
Wonderful.
Oh, I'm gonna be releasing a couple of songs soon. I've got 3 songs that are written. I've got to finish all the finishing touches with the mixing and stuff. I'm still using GarageBand though, so that kind of like holds me back. That's okay. It's still gonna be good. You can still hear the song.
Better than nothing. You start somewhere.
It just makes it quiet.
You can always redo them down the line if you wanted to.
Yeah, maybe. I could.
If you so desired.
I could. It's weird though. I'm doing a song in a style I've never done before. It's basically a country song. So
That's cool though.
it's got a cool guitar solo at the end, and it's got slide guitar in it, which I've never done before. It's cool.
Look forward to hearing what you come up with.
And then I played one of them for you.
Yeah, you did.
And then then there's another one too, which is I'm gonna see if I can make it metal. I still feel like that other one I showed you is kind of hard rock.
Yeah.
I don't know.
To me,
Metal
genre
is
is
really
kind
hard
of
to
a
write.
blur in my head. I don't
It
really
is,
know
for
genres
sure.
very well.
It's just
Um,
blur.
Music is music. I don't know. Like,
The point is to do something new too. So it's like in a way you don't want to do the same genre, but like
no, yeah, you want to do something.
it's good to not like really define things too heavily, right?
Yeah, no, I think you should be able to kind of just do what you want. And if you want to release a metal song and then a country song in the next track, then do it.
Like, who the fuck is this? Huh?
I think that's great.
I'm
There's a few
just
bands that are like
seeing
that.
what I can do. And this is just a solo thing for me. Like,
But it's
they're
sick though.
just random songs, pretty much. I don't know. I do a lot of different things that way. Part of me wants to be like a singer-songwriter. Part of me just wants to be the best guitar player I could ever be.
Yeah.
Which is way cooler. Sometimes I think I'd be best just doing like an instrumental album. I'm not sure that I have the musical composition
Okay.
chops. It's like an unknown number, so I don't
It
blame
was
you.
work.
Oh, don't
Sorry,
answer.
sorry, work. Asking me if you want to come in tomorrow at 7 a.m.
Yeah, music is awesome. I think it's a real way to like come face to face with experience of life and then kind of draw out what you noticed about it and what you experienced and what you learned from it, and then put it into a format that makes it really easy for people to receive that energy and that learning and, you know, that vibe. You know, if it's a really good vibe and they want to just have a good time, they can put on the song for that.
Or if they want to have a bad, sad cry
if they're
day, then
feeling
they
it-
can have a
if they're
bad, sad
feeling the
cry day.
blues, right? They can have that. It's something that connects people. It's the Matrix. It's like a beacon in the Matrix almost, music.
Yeah.
Some bands and artists, they're just like a beacon. They're just outputting all this energy.
To all the different vessels.
Pretty much, you know, and it affects the other vessels.
It does.
So like I wonder if some bands, like, I don't know, like some of them have this beacon for one type of energy, and then there's other artists that have another kind of energy. Like, I don't know. It's all different. It's a fucking rainbow, I guess. It's awesome though.
Variety is good.
And this reminds me of this painting I seen of an artist painting a painting. And it was like super trippy.
Inception.
It was like the consciousness. It showed the flow of consciousness. So it had, the artist's mind was open to experience and, perception of the universe and whatever. And then they were using their perception to see this canvas and paint on it and then create an art piece, right? And then this art piece was viewed by myself. And then that forms a thought in my head, and then I can create something based on that.
Yeah, and it's like a...
That's the way it's connected, and then that's how it, like, works together.
Yeah, at the absolute base of things. Things so simple that we never think about them.
Pretty much, yeah, just take it for granted. Like, some people look at a piece of art, and they're like, that's a picture.
Yeah.
Nice picture. Cool.
Beautiful.
I'm going to go get a hot dog now.
And then other people would be like, masterpiece though.
Yes, they'd sit there and be like, I relate to this, like I see what they were going for here and whatever. There's like lots about art, I don't know, but you're right. There's different people about it.
Yeah. And that's part of the interesting part of what makes things interesting. Variety.
Yeah. Variety is the spice of life.
The shards being different shaped. What would a crystal? I guess it would just look like a ball. But those do exist too. Let's just ignore that thought.
Do you believe that, like, psychics really see something that other people don't?
I believe they can.
You think so?
I do believe there's a lot of scammers out there too, though. At the same time,
I think so.
I think there's a lot of scammers, but
yeah, it's very difficult to find one who's like actually got.
and I don't think it's as Hollywood.
Experience.
I don't think it's so
in
Hollywood as some might perceive it. I don't know.
I think it's more akin to like astrology, where it's kind of got these broad strokes that you can kind of vibe with, and then notice more things and take more initiative in life and try to like manifest that thing. And some people, they can tell things about you as soon as they meet you, as soon as they see you. They ask you like 5 questions. They're like, okay, well, I know all I need to know.
Super in tune.
Then they kind of know what you want. Like it's weird.
Yeah.
I met somebody like this, and they're like,
They're
I
really
asked
good at
them.
reading.
Yeah, like we weren't. Nothing prompted this. I just randomly asked him one day. I was like, "What do you know about me?" And he said all this stuff I never talked to him about, stuff that I never talked about ever.
Yeah.
And I was like, "What the heck? Like, how do you know this?" And he's just like, I know you." I was like, "Whoa, okay. Well, I feel very exposed, but
I think we
there's
also
nothing I can do about
sometimes
that.
we also
Like, I guess I just have to
underestimate
trust this.
how much other people notice about us.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
what
think
other
I'm
people think.
pretty much Captain Oblivious. I notice like pretty much nothing, or
I
maybe
think
I,
that's
notice
like a
more than I think I do. But
yeah, I don't know. I notice dumb things. Things that are very useless to notice.
I think I notice some like deep things about people.
Like
that's
what?
why there's certain people that I'm like more have a better connection with, because I feel like I connect on a deeper level.
Mm-hmm.
Where some people don't ever want to get deep about anything. So it's like less of a connection there.
Sad.
I know, and like sometimes I think it's on me to create that connection for them, like meet them on a place and then just share my thoughts. I find it difficult to kind of like impart what I think.
Well, there are
sometimes.
people that aren't supposed to hear them. There are people that aren't supposed to have these conversations because it's not in their character. We'll call it that.
That's true. Some people aren't open to it. And like it doesn't affect their life at all. And then, like, does it affect my life?
They think it doesn't. See, they think it doesn't affect their life.
Conversation. It's
It
like,
affects
this is
everything
the
in existence.
conversation that I like. Whereas, it might be this happened or this happened or this happened, but I'm like, I don't know. I like the philosophical kind of thing. I think it just lights up different parts of my brain and helps me, in a way, helps me experience things.
Yeah.
Here's another thing about experience and like how you feel about life and how it kind of changes your experience. And I call it the quickness of time, right? Time flies when you're having fun, right? When you're doing something that you enjoy or that takes a lot of effort or energy, time goes by a lot faster. But if there's something that kind of like you don't really want to do and you're like mundane, forcing yourself to do it, it takes way longer.
Yeah.
So it's like how the quickness of time changes is based on, you know, like how much this thing was like meant for you or how much you feel that it was meant for you, what you do. If that makes sense.
I think I know what you mean, yeah. But
when did people ever start saying though that you have to chop up time to certain intervals and you can only have so much time for this?
Yeah.
And you can't do it. It's like so much of the time in life I feel like I'm getting cut off from doing what I really want to do.
Yeah.
Because of all these time commitments. Where it's like you need this much time here doing this and stuff. It's like, my time management sucks. So
I feel that. Like, yep.
It's just a hard part of things for me.
Yeah.
Woe is me, I guess.
So my sense of time is really bad. I can like things that happened when I was 16 feels like it was just a couple weeks ago.
It can be like that sometimes.
Yeah. My sense of time is terrible. I'll be like, I'll just meet someone and be like, what? I forgot that you weren't there during that time 4 years ago. No.
It's all kind of jumbled up. For some people, memory is like a film stream, a film reel, you know, it's like you see each little picture, it's like, you just gotta flip back and forth.
Can't really.
Some people, it's kind of just like you reach in, you pull something out. Is that it? No? Okay, wait, I think it's, there, I feel it. There it is.
Yeah, it's more like a bucket of random stuff.
The tickle trunk of memories.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I like it when I pull out the good ones.
Preferably.
That's life, though. It's kind of random sometimes.
I think that's what makes it fun.
Definitely. That's what I like about belief, too, is you can kind of believe random things. That's why I like pantheism, because it's just like, there's no real limit on what you're supposed to believe. There's no guide on what you're supposed to believe. There's no, like, rules on what you can combine, what you can, when you can, like, you can kind of, it's like being a planeswalker. You can walk between the different things and be like, okay, well, today I'm feeling voodoo, and you fucking draw, you know, one of the voodoo gods into, you know, kill a chicken or something and make some Louisiana chicken. You're like, damn, that was good. We're gonna have a good hunt. By all means, do it. And then some other day you want to worship Odin or something, you can do that. It's just, that's part of the second Renaissance to me, is that you can literally do anything in terms of that kind of stuff.
And not get hung for it?
Yeah, and nobody's going to come hang you for it.
Yay!
Like, you can find your, whatever you believe, you can find it. You can test these things out and learn it.
Yeah. Some people don't just choose not to, but
no.
I think it's important to do that. What are we doing here?
The more we put into our first-hand experience, the better our lives are. And some people are chasing like the second-hand experience, which doesn't make any sense to me.
What do you mean by that? People that
where they're
follow
kind of just
the
at
rich
home.
People on Instagram and.
Well, maybe not a whole lot of that, but like.
What do you mean then?
Like watching reality shows and being like, well, it'd be cool if I was doing this.
Oh, kind of the same thing though, cause.
Sort of, yeah.
I picture a person on Instagram being like, oh, I wish, look at this person's cool house. Like, oh, I wish this was my wardrobe. I don't know. Like.
Just like kind of wishing for something else than what they have.
And then also not really doing anything to actually get there.
Yeah, just distracting themselves from like what is actually going on in their lives or what went wrong in their lives in the past and never really coming to terms with it.
Yeah,
that's way easier said than done. I mean, that's probably one of the most hard, challenging things for somebody to face in life. Could be. And I'm just like, oh, you can do it. You don't know if you can.
still always going to be a goal.
Definitely.
Or
I mean,
should
that's like the path to goodness, right? The other way is almost a path to evil.
What is evil in this context?
It could be like a neglect to responsibilities.
Yeah. Okay, I like, yeah. Sloth-ish.
Yeah, I don't know. Or like self-centered greed and stuff like that. Like, there's just some bad shit that could happen, depending on if there's other people who else is connected. You know, there's always an effect. You never know how it's gonna come out.
And there's dark shit in the world too, but that's another topic.
Yeah, there's pretty bad shit out there for sure. Like, I had an idea. I was like, I want to do this bicycle trip, or not bicycle, I would say motorcycle trip down the coast, but all the way down to like Argentina, because I want to do astronomy tour there and like check out some really cool views of the stars and the galaxies and do some astrophotography. But there's so many places in Mexico and like Cambodia, like all these South American countries that are like they don't give a fuck about you kind of thing. They're gonna just
go biking
steal your bike. They're gonna steal everything from you. They don't care if you die, and if you come to take it back, they'll kill you. Kind of shit.
Yeah,
so it's
a little nerve-wracking.
Maybe I shouldn't do that.
Stay safe.
Like, there's still all this lack of human rights in the world too. Really sucks. And then a lot of places still just dumping bullshit in the fucking ocean, killing the coral reefs. I want to go scuba diving, goddammit. Fuck.
You should do that. Go to Costa Rica.
Well, someday. I think we can actually get scuba certified in a pool.
Yeah.
So that can happen here.
My sister is. My brother too,
go over there, and then it's just, here's my card, here's your scuba gear, dive.
It's like on my kind of like a bucket list thing to plan a trip to Costa Rica with my friends at some point in life.
It'd be super cool. I'm down for it. How much does it cost? Probably way too much.
Not even like that much. I think round is like $600 to $800.
Really?
And then of course you don't have to pay for hotel. Wouldn't have to pay for hotel, so.
All inclusive.
Not all inclusive. We'd have to buy food and stuff.
Oh right, because your parents have a place there.
Yeah, they have a house. So we'd have to pay for a hotel, but.
And then just buy some food.
We'd have to buy food. Just go to the grocery store. It's very much like a regular community.
Wow, and then it's Spanish.
It's Spanish, and there's little restaurants, and it's right on the beach pretty much, and yeah, no, it's super cool, and I
start learning some Spanish.
Really I want to do that with my friends someday. It's definitely like a goal.
I was trying to learn Japanese for a while.
How did that go?
It was going pretty well. Honestly, I was learning Japanese.
Do you watch anime?
I wanted to watch it.
I need to clarify that I know that I said that on purpose, okay? I did it on purpose, but I realized I've never said that to you before, so you might have actually just thought I was a dumbass. But I know it's anime, I like to call it anime. So, anyway, sorry, continue.
That's okay. But yeah, you probably know that they have like 2 alphabets. They probably have 3 alphabets. So like, it just takes a long time.
Complex.
You got to put in just a little bit of time every day for a while, and you'll get somewhere. I think that's true with anything, though.
Yeah, usually.
But just the way that, like, I don't know, something different about it. It's definitely a different language.
Oh yeah.
And the way that they're the way it is.
I haven't tried, but it seems really complicated.
Just the way I've learned about it, like the way the kanji look and how they connect to make a word and what the words are. Makes me think that there's like a story to how it was all written and how it was created. And it's kind of like the story of the civilization of Japan. And it was like building their alphabets. But I have no basis for that. Like I don't know how this formed when I was reading it. I was like, ka.
Makes sense to you.
You know, like all this, whatever. And then this was what I was thinking at the time. So it was a trippy experience.
I got nothing because I'm very, very uneducated in the subject. I've never even looked into it, so.
There's a lot of little subtleties. But it seems really
complicated.
There's a lot of little subtleties in the pronunciation of things. Because you gotta have like compound kanjis and then.
Oh, and I noticed that, like, with other languages, a lot of the time, if you pronounce something just, like, slightly wrong, like, it makes no sense. Like, they don't understand it. Like, that's even, like, it's a whole new word.
Like,
whereas I feel like in English, if you pronounce something wrong, we can still decipher it.
We're pretty good contextually, like, what you're trying to say.
But, like, in another language, they just, like, if you say something just slightly wrong, accent the wrong word wrong, the whole sentence would just be like, what?
Mm-hmm. Because, like, it feels like that's not a big deal in English, but in their language, like, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I don't even know. It's like a bull in a china shop.
Yeah.
It's interesting that people think that there was one language that started everything, and then it all split up. And
Check
then,
the Tower of Babel here.
Yeah, the Tower of Babel. I think about Babylon and Sumeria, or Sumer, right? And what else was there?
Did you ever hear the theory about the Tower of Babel being a portal? Mesopotamia is cool. But
what? To where?
Barbelo? Like the Eternal Realms?
What is this? I don't know. I've never heard this. I don't think.
Oh, so it's like, yeah, it's supposed to be just like the Eternal Aeon. It's supposed to be like a portal to the Eternal Aeon. And this is like the material world is not eternal, but then like...
Okay.
And then that's just like, I don't know. I haven't looked too much into that, but there was like a...
So that's what some texts would like kind of incite, like...
Yeah, I've heard, and
there.
I've heard that. Yeah, I've heard it was like a gateway. Because I'm trying to think, it has to do with the words, the etymology of the words. I can't remember exactly, but it was something about like it meant like portal or door. I can't remember. You can't quote me on this one because it's blank. It's escaping me. I should have like done some reading up. I should have refreshed my mind on some of these things before coming here. Cause
there was a video I watched not that long ago on YouTube, and I'm just gonna rip this right from there. There was like a bunch of I don't know what it was specifically, butcher it anyways. But like I'm pretty sure it was Greeks. There was like this ceremony that they would have where they would go on a pilgrimage and then they would get to like the temple, and in the temple they would have a drink, and it was like a hallucinogenic drink, and the point was to drink it to die and experience your immortal self. Mm-hmm. So that's like almost, the gateway, the biological gateway being triggered open by drugs, and then going into this immortal realm, this eternal realm, like you were saying, and then to really like unlock your consciousness, like to know that the infinity is within your mind.
Have you ever seen the OA?
And then come back to life
Netflix?
with that new learning. No.
No, you should watch it.
Okay, I'll write it down.
The OA.
The OA.
OA, yeah.
Sounds cool. What's it about?
Near-death experience and interdimensional travel.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a book written by a paramedic that was like around a lot of people with death experiences or near-death experiences.
Oh yeah.
So maybe it's like that. And interdimensional travel. Is it a fiction or is it like?
It's a fiction. Well, it's like a riddle.
Okay.
It's a little slow and it's definitely not for everyone. But I'm pitching it to you because you might catch it. But it's an existential riddle. And I don't even want to say this, but it was canceled after the second season.
Oh.
So the riddle is actually incomplete, but it's still worth the watch of the 2 seasons.
Okay.
Which is sad because it was like when they took it to Netflix, they took a fully written 5-season riddle, and then Netflix was like, yeah, let's do it, and then they cut them off after the second season.
Damn. Is there anywhere you can find what the riddle was supposed to be?
No. We're still fans haven't given up hope though. There's a huge campaign that went on after it was canceled. Some girl went on a hunger break, or a food break, whatever it's called, like a hunger strike. Yeah.
Like Gandhi?
Because
it was canceled.
She stopped eating. Yeah. Because I don't know
how to solve this non-violent protest.
This was a long time ago though, so I hope she have eaten since then.
I hope so. I mean, it still hasn't come out. I hope she's just
season 3 hasn't come, but I don't know if fans are still hopeful that maybe someday, maybe even a book series would be nice, because it's really unique. I've never seen anything like it. But,
it's a riddle.
It is a riddle, and I think it's very cool. There's so many things that you missed the first time you've seen it, and I've seen it 4 times over. It's just it's one of those shows, rewatchable.
So do you ever post on Twitter, or do you have a blog somewhere or something?
No, I don't use Twitter. No, I just use Instagram usually, but even then I don't use it so much these days.
Instagram.
That was my main one.
Do you want to share your Instagram page? For like.
It's such an awkward long name though.
Okay, well, never mind. Don't worry about it.
To make you think _
Nobody
question
ever
_ learn.
Nobody ever uses Twitter, like anyone I know.
I saw an article on Facebook this morning saying that Instagram should die and that Twitter needs to take over it. I'm like, no, thank you. I don't like Twitter. I had Twitter
Most
a long
people
time
don't,
ago.
They're like, I don't get Twitter.
It's
I don't understand.
silly.
It's like, what do you mean?
I feel like Twitter's just for like celebrities or something. I don't know.
No, I put my new thoughts on there. If I think that like I've kind of like expressed myself in a new way, I'll put it on there. I'll show you my Twitter. I use Twitter.
I
don't use
Twitter
it very
only during that OA campaign.
News. I learned when like new things come out on Twitter. Sometimes.
Yeah, I don't follow Twitter at all.
I don't follow it very closely anymore.
I think my mom's gonna be asking.
Oh, it is 9 o'clock.
Yeah, it's 9 o'clock.
So we'll wrap this up. I'm just gonna read a couple of tweets. I have a few tweets I have a Voodoo Monkeys Twitter as well. Let me see. The present is an eternity as it is always happening.
I like that.
What is the energy of music? What the fuck? This is weird. Is it emotional, intelligent, ignorant, all three, or something else? I don't know why I wrote ignorant in there. Just an ignorant energy of music? I don't think that's what I want to say.
Ignorant, like unaware. Ignorant has bad connotations, but it's not really a bad word.
There's some really good ones. I had some good ones really old. Oh, music is the alchemy of experience. There we go.
Yeah.
Just like something that's just a little bit like elegant. I want to capture that and put it somewhere. And Twitter is the only way I can do that, I think.
Yeah. I don't understand Twitter at all. I like my Instagram and
Using the guitar as a tool to extend my artistic consciousness into reality at will. That's a mouthful.
That's wonderful though. It's very true. It's a good use of words.
It's like the dam to the flow. There's going to be dams to the flow, so I will continue to practice. That makes a lot of sense. Like, kind of like grooving those pathways. What you practice is going to become easier. So that's why bad habits die hard.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's the end. Somebody's driving through the alley. We're going to wrap this up. Thank you for tuning in. And we'll do this again sometime. That was a solid podcast. And
I feel like
it's been like a year since I've recorded.
I didn't have a very solid topic though.
It's still a good podcast. I feel like we were building some kind of idea there.
Never recorded a conversation in my life. It's the first time I've ever recorded a conversation.
Well, what do you think of it?
I don't know. I was like a little conscious of myself sometimes.
That happens. Hopefully you just feel comfortable next time, a little more comfortable next time. But
Yeah, that was fun.
that was fun.
Could talk forever though, but
Really, I mean, this was like 2 hours, which is a very solid length, I think.
and
for a
as you were
podcast.
saying, when you're enjoying something, time goes by really fast. It did not feel like that long. Like
Yeah,
I've just
it's
been
weird.
chilling here. We're just chilling.
If it's like 5 minutes, and then there's like feels like it's like an hour, and then the next hour feels like 5 minutes. Like it's weird.
Yeah.
So, anyways,